That's good stuff. So today we are gonna be on the Q&A tip. I'm not gonna be focusing on teaching and talking too much. Today is all about you guys and to see where you are struggling. If you are struggling, what are the basic questions that we need to go through so that you guys understand what the hell is happening on the charts. So I want you guys to.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Yeah, you're right.
Good, good. So I want all of you guys, whoever that has the questions, the first one, give them to me.
I've got a few questions.
So you want to go first?
Can do. Hold on, sorry, I've just had to run in here. Just reading these questions again. When GBP and USD make the same? Oh yeah, okay. So when the GBP and the USD make the same move during GBP time, we watch the GBP, but what if? Oh no, sorry. When all three of them make the move at the same time, we watch the euro, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about when it's just the GBP and the USD? Just the GBP.
One thing that will save you is that, okay, let's say you have euro and GBP at the high, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are all painting the same. But now, according to these criteria right here, what matches the most criteria?
Understood.
Because you can see both of them being at the high. You can see both of them offering the wicks. You can see them both being on the dash of pink on that brings box. You can see all those things. But now, after you have identified that they are all at the top, now it's time to count down your criteria. Does it have a squeeze? Who has the most squeeze? Who has the most divergence? Who has the nicest blood out? Who has the easiest identifiable traps at the high when you go 5 days or 2 days back? All those kind of things. The EMAs, who has the EMAs? You know, all those things. So after you have identified them, you make your chart, your chart markup here and here, and then you start to look at, okay, who matches the most criteria? So out of those two, the one who matches the most criteria, that's the one you're going to be looking at to trade.
Cool.
Off that note, how many criteria is a go trade?
5. If there's a beautiful trade that only has like 2 to 3 criteria, I'm not going to be entering it because I do not have enough confluence on my side to make any trade. So if I can get 4 distinctive criteria, that's when I'm going to be like, you know what, 4 is good, it's basic enough for me to take a trade. But if it's like 6 or 7, I up my risk. When it's over 4, I up my risk. But below 4, around the 4s, yes, 0.10, 0.20s, 0.30s, 5, 6 criteria, 2 lots, 3 lots, 4 lots, 5 lots, 10 lots.
Right. Same thing goes with the blocks. The more lines, the
Yes,
more
sir. Yes, sir. So when you have a beautiful trade, let's say you have a beautiful Asia rectangle box, and then he makes the blood out during the gap time. He makes the big fat candles. You must see if those candles, they hit how many blocks. So if, let's say, for example, you have a beautiful trade that makes the burst and there's only 1 block at the high, that is something of concern. You need to be concerned about that because you need to understand that for the market makers to be super solid on what they are doing, they need to go to the blocks. So the more blocks they go to during the gap time or the stop hunt, this is the more confluence for you to pull those triggers. But when everything else matches, but there's only one block, you need to be very careful because he might actually manipulate that, give you what you want for a short time, and then destroy everything and continue going up and kill your account. So the more blocks we have at the high during our times and the timings and all those things, the maximum blocks I love is like 6. 6 blocks, beautiful. But when I have 3 blocks, it's tradable. When I have 2 blocks, I need to be super cautious. When there's 1 block, I'm not going to trade. That's how I sample it in my mind. So any other questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Bring them.
Those
Bring them.
new gap time hours, right?
Hmm?
The gap time hours.
Yep.
Okay. Do we need to go back and do flashcards for the new gap time?
Here's what I was. Here's what I
Funny
was saying.
question? I'm asking a question, dude.
Yep.
No, nothing because of something else.
Oh,
Here's something, man. The new gap time, it is not of much concern. We are only here to be aligned with the market makers. We are not here to change anything. So I only said you guys should just shift Asia because Asia was ending at, so now it's ending at, but it is not, it's not a cause for you to go insane about the new gap times. We are still trading the gap times, but it does not mean you need to go back. You need to do the same thing. It's just that the times have changed. So the times have changed on the charts, but the times have not changed for us. You understand? We're still looking for that 8, 9, 10, or 7, 8, 9 big bursts. So no matter how you can look at the charts, 7, 8, 9, you are supposed to look at the big burst. So if you are to make your flashcards, make sure that you honor those times.
gotcha.
Be safe first, honoring the 7, 8, 9 bursts before you can ever try to, cripple your mind into other things. So stick to only that.
All right.
Just look at me, for example. I was saying, I lost a lot of trades during after the 11 hours.
Yeah.
Seriously, man, you need to get a great connection, man. It's killing you.
Okay.
Sickles question or questions?
Yeah, it's just that the questions that I wanted to ask was more of based on the entries, like how to entry, but I've already answered when regards to that. Like, you don't have to get too early, but look at the pins. The most important thing is when you have the blood inside the bands. That's why you're looking for the entries, because I was confusing myself when it comes to the entries. Like, so far during this week, I didn't enter any trade. I was just monitoring how you enter the trade. And one of the questions that you answered already is that the exotics and the major or the normal pairs are the same. So I'm answered to that. There's 2 ways to enter. It's not the same like as exotics and then the major pairs. What I wanted to ask most important is how you enter, because sometimes you can see, okay, this is the right trade. You see the pin, you see that this is always going to go against you. So this was the biggest problem. I think what Leo he asked, it's already got the answers for that. I even wrote it down.
Okay, I have an answer for that, man. You are too new, you are too fresh, you are still a baby in this game right now. So I do not want you to focus a lot on entering. You understand? I don't want you to focus on where's the entry, how did I enter that? As a newborn who is new, who's trying to understand the pattern, for you to just jump understanding, to jump the understanding and to fall into the entry, that will be your biggest downfall. As I can trade you going forward. You understand? You're not asking the right questions in a matter of trying to understand what the market makers are doing in terms of the patterns. Because I'm not sharing the questions that come from the understanding or trying to understand what is going on, but I hear mostly, where do I enter? You understand? So I can give you the best entry that enter here, but the steps that goes to building that setup for you to even consider entering in the first place, that's something you need to build on. So I would ask something like, hey man, every time when there's a stop hunt, like what type of wicks that let me know that the market makers are about to return? How do I know? How do I distinguish between the pins? Continue.
One of the questions, that I wanted to ask is like, how do you actually identify the traps? So this was the question that I wanted to ask you also, the traps. I wanted to ask, what the first thing that you're looking out to when you're looking through a trap? Are you looking for the big bust? Can you break to the previous low, to the previous high? Something like that, like with your mind or your perspective when it regards to the traps. What's firstly comes to your mind when to identify the traps? This was the question that I wanted to ask mostly.
Okay, man. Let me give you a demonstration of what I do in the morning. I come to work. I go to my charts. The first thing I want is to see, where are the EMAs? Where are the EMAs? Because all these questions you are asking me, they are coming before we can ever consider the bursts. This is where your trade plan protects you. Where are the EMAs placed? What's the location of the EMAs? Once you understand the location of the EMAs are telling you where are the retail traders. That's why I say the details is in the retail's EMAs. So that's the first thing you need to watch. Where are my EMAs? Because once you start to understand where are the EMAs, the time the market makers start to make the big bursts, you will automatically in your mind know, oh, wait a minute, the market makers are making bursts that get away from the retail traders to make the retail traders enter on the wrong perceived big bursts. That's the trap. So that every time you look at the big bursts going up, you already know psychologically in your mind that the EMAs are left behind while the market makers are using the gap time or the stop hunt to go up. So the time it starts to go up with big bursts, you start to now measure your, what's that? Who's farting, man? I'm playing.
Sorry, that was me.
All right. The EMAs that are left behind, and you start to see the big bursts up, you need to now measure on your pair. And when you go back, how many times does this guy move up, or how many pips does this guy move up? This is critical details into your pairs. Like for example, I know that on USD ZAR, whenever I can see the big bursts should cover 1,000 pips. I should be able to see 1,000 pips, maximum 1,400 pip bursts. So once I start to wait for the EMAs, for the price to make the big burst, I'm going to measure those bursts from where they started to where they are. If where they started to where they are, it covers like 1,000 or 1,200 pips, and then I start to see the wicks, that's my traps. That's where I know where these motherfuckers are most likely to return. Because I went back to understand my pairs. I went back to understand that statistically, historically, how many times does this guy drop and how many pips of the big bursts does he make? So I found out that when I see 1,000 pips to 1,200, 1,400 pips, big bursts during my time, and then after those times, after those pips, you start offering the spikes, and then the divergence is still there, and then the blood out is still there. Everything else I'm talking about that matches this criteria at the back with understanding the historical page bursts, that's my traps, man. Especially when I know where are the EMAs or where are the retail traders with the EMAs. That's how I know my traps. So it's easy for me to tell you, I look at this and this and this as my traps. The honest truth is that I can never know at what point this guy is going to drop. I'm not a market maker, man. I'm just like you. I'm just like all of you. So I'm trying to use as many statistics as I can that come from the past. So when I found out that on SEC is like 500 to 800 pip bursts, and ZAR is like 1,000 to 1,400 pip bursts, I used that and I went even further back to see if what I was coming with or what I was seeing on the chart is something that I can use for my future trading that is solid. So that's what I've been using through this point. Every time I see the big burst, I want to measure how many pips did he make.
From the top of the range.
Yes, sir. Then after that is established, that's when I go deep into my criteria then. That's where I need to make sure that each and every detail I am covering it, I have covered the details. So it's easy for me to lose and it's easy for me to win. But it's more easy for me to win because I stick with statistics. I do not guess whether market makers will. Sometimes I can enter that and it gives me the biggest nice squeeze, 18-year-old virgin squeeze, and then he goes up and then he makes the 1,400 pips that I want. And then I enter that. I wait for this, the pattern to formulate, and then I enter that, and the market makers will continue going up. So I know that even if I can show you guys all those things, the market makers has the tendency of doing that. That is by no way telling you that you need to skip from 0.1 and just jump and trade 0.5 because you will have gotten the aha moment as I'm telling you, and you're writing the notes down that every time you see a 1,400 pips, this guy's drops. You need to always manage your trading and manage your risk all the time.
Okay. For me,
the thing about the reason why I'm saying this is that I have seen you trade before. I have seen the way you enter your trades. I have seen the types of lot sizes that you use. So this question is directly aimed at you to understand that even if whatever you are asking and I'm telling you, you need to manage your risk. Stop trading big. Don't trade big. Like right now on this Euro USD, look how ridiculous I'm trading, man. From the size that I used to trade to the size that I trade right now, I'm more comfortable because those are the sizes that let me do the greedy bastards without any problems. So whether the trade can go up or down, it doesn't matter. My risk is solid and it's tight. But I know that even if that trade can go up and kill me, I won't lose that much. Even if the market makers can destroy my criteria, I am still safe from harm. And you need to learn again by Leo's crazy mistakes of losing 17 by entering with multiple lots because he thought he knew. Just like I did when I thought I knew the market, I entered big and I entered multiple times. And then in that multiple times that you enter, you stand to lose a lot of hard work that you've been building with the 0.1s, 0.5s, 0.6s. You understand? So when you start to jump from the stage of 0.1s or 0.2s, and then all of a sudden you get this aha moment, and the aha moment allows you to enter with multiple lots and you lose, you will have lost all that hard work you've been trying to come to. So that is a direct answer to you, bro, that whatever I'm telling you, try to manage your risk. Try to make sure that every trade that you put on, you need to automatically make it a loss in your mind. So that once the loss happens, you automatically know and you were mentally prepared for that. You understand?
Yeah. Thanks, man. It makes sense. It makes sense.
If you go to in the chat, March 21st, Lash talks about how he enters the positions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give me the questions, man. Sam, give me the questions.
I had one about your MT4, about how you've got multiple screens so that you can see more.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, do you just have like, how do you get it so you've got multiple screens, or do you have two different accounts with like two different brokers so you can open one there, one there?
I have two different
is that how you do
brokers,
it?
like
You
two
can have.
different platforms.
I have 3 different brokers. Leo has 2 different
Okay.
brokers. So
Understood.
I have like, right now I have like 8 accounts, and then I use on different brokers. So
Okay, cool.
when I have Pepperstone, MT4 Pepperstone, I have Traders Way Pepperstone, I have OctaFX, OctaFX MT4, and so forth.
Okay, cool.
See the questions, man. Give me.
Yeah.
Give me
No,
the
I
questions.
think the question. I think that I wanted to ask, you already answered them, so there's no need to keep asking questions, because the thing that I wanted to ask you already gave me the answers for that. Because the most important thing that was like tracking me up is the trap, because if you know when the traps are, then it's easy for you to know which side of the market you are. So you answered that already. So for me, it's just to follow the criteria and then do some more work, and then it's gonna be easy for me. So yeah.
Follow the criteria. Sir, number one thing you need to understand, this goes for all of you. Try to master understanding. There's nothing that gives me greater comfort than understanding what I'm doing, understanding what the market makers are doing, and really feeling it, really feeling what you are doing, not hunting for trades. We are not here to hunt for trades. We are here for trades to come to us. You understand? So when you sit on your hands and the trade builds for you, it builds for you, it sets itself up for you to just go over there and pick up the cash. So before you can be in the mentality of entering, be in the mentality of really understanding and immersing yourself into this business, and try to understand for yourself that you are doing this because you want to understand. Then after you understand, it's going to be easy for you to know what each and every candle means, where you're about to strike, where are you supposed to be positioned, how are you supposed to flank these guys, how are you supposed to ambush these guys. How? The how brings the understanding, or the understanding brings the how. So I want you guys to focus on understanding. That's why when people send me the flashcards, through the flashcards, I can see if a person understands or a person just showed me a beautiful flashcard. So when you show me a beautiful flashcard, it does not mean you understand. It doesn't mean you understand by you showing me a beautiful flash card. Because the time you show me a beautiful flash card and I say to you, okay, I'm going to test this guy by making him trade this live and him giving me every type of criteria on whatever's going on. Most frees, they talk about things that have nothing to do with the criteria or what they are looking at, but they presented to me a beautiful chart. So that's why I always love to say, I want you guys to have a mental breakdown on the charts. Break down the charts mentally and understand it so that each and every candle by your times, you know what it means. You know what type of a spike is a good spike. What type of a spike it's a spike for you to wait. That's something that I cannot teach you. It's something that you need to go back and check that, okay, I know the pattern, I know all of this that Lesh is saying, I understand. But now, how do I position myself to know at what point this guy, when I enter, is going to drop? What type of a candle that makes that type of a drop? How does it look like? How many times does it happen in a month? How many times does it happen in 2 months? That's the deepness that you need to go through, because you can get a great criteria or great criterias on your chart. Everything else is lining up perfectly, but the time you start to see the last big bursts, and then after that last big bursts, he makes the pullback. What gives you that great pullback to enter or to leave alone and wait? That's something I can't teach, but that's something that when I see it, I know it. I know what is the right type of pullback that guarantees me entering there, and what is the type of pullback that lets me, that's going to make me lose. Because you can be right on the analysis, everything can be perfect, but how you enter can decimate you. You can be on the right pair in the wrong time. And just that one critical error of you not understanding at that point how many spikes or what spike is good for you to start placing your positions, that could fucking kill you. It can ruin you. So that's something that, again, you need to go out and find. When you start to see the big bursts, you calculate for yourself, okay, I have one big burst, this big burst, let's say for on the USD ZAR, for example. If there's one big burst, that big burst is like 600 pips. You're still saying to yourself, okay, 600 pips is still too low. Then he makes another one that's like 850 pips bursts. You wait until the 1,000 pip reaches you, or 1,200 pips. That's where, when you start to align yourself with the market and start to see the dojis and the wicks and the pullbacks and the spinning tops and the railroad tracks, that's where you're going to know how to enter or when to enter based on that stuff. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what if he shifts before your targets?
There's
You
nothing
just
you can do, bro.
no, you can do, right? No, that's the
Nothing
market.
you can do. That's the market is 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 the motherfucking market, man. Sometimes you can wait for something so perfect and then it shifts early. You've heard me rant about every time we see a beautiful trade or a beautiful setup coming along, and then this guy just moves early. You know, it's like you're saying fuck, but there's nothing you can do. You can't chase it. It's just that you can say to yourself, you know what? The market makers, they realized that there was a lot of money for him to not wait and hold. He just had to make the big bursts and to crush early. There's nothing you can do, man. That's the market. All we can do is to make sure that we wait and the market makers agrees with what we are seeing, so that we can enter at our times and we get no problems. That's the only thing. But the hastiness is one thing we don't want. We don't want to be in a rush to enter. We don't want to be in a rush to see what is not there, man. We need to really see it for ourselves if it is there for you to can ever want to make any trades. Are you answered, sir?
Yes, sir.
Leo, questions, man.
I haven't got any.
Fantastic. I cleaned you out. Sam, question. Give me the questions, man.
I think I'm out of questions as well, to be honest. I guess I could ask about. So if you were just saying about the bursts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the numbers aren't hit on the bursts, but obviously they are hit on the other criterias, that's okay, right?
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's good. As long as you understand what is going on. That is why I want you to focus on understanding what the market makers are doing. Sometimes these guys, they can offer you a 600 pip burst, and then he makes the setup and then he drops. Does that mean, oh fuck, this guy did not reach 1,400 pips? Or does it mean,
right,
oh, I see what he's doing. I know what I need to do because of that, because you understand what you are doing. You're not a robot. That's the thing, man. I'm not teaching you guys to be robots. I'm showing you the basics. Then from the basics, you start to develop and start to understand for yourself based on the basic foundation I laid for you guys. So when I say most of the time I wait for the big burst to make 1,000, 1,400, sometimes he will make 600 pip burst, and then he makes a beautiful squeeze, and then he hits the numeraries and he hits the blocks, but the price and the numbers is still 500 pips. I cannot be a jackass and sit there and be like,
yeah,
no, I'm going to wait until he goes to 1,400 pips. I can't do that. My intuition and my instinct tells me that I must enter and kill him because I understand what he's trying to do. That's why I say most of the time, the market makers uses the small amount of money as possible to make the false move so that he can put his aggregate at the top and then he crashes everyone else. So he uses as minimum pips as he can for the false move so that he can aggregate and put a lot of money of his on the opposite direction and make a lot of money. And it's like a cost thing, it's like a business. When you start to understand that when you buy flutes to sell, or when you buy whatever, you buy a company to sell, you need to buy a company that is cheap, but it has all the fucking workers and the company is efficient. So that the time you start to develop it and put on the right type of infrastructure, the time you're about to sell it, it needs to be worth 10 to 40 times as much as when you first bought it. So that's what the market makers do. They use as little money as possible to induce and as heavy as possible to go against. That's what they do. So until you get to the stage, that comfortable stage,
I think
you are not allowed to do that yet. You wait for criteria.
For me, the most mistake that I was doing is that whenever I get the new information that you're teaching us, I was focusing on the information because it was exciting me that or something new that I learned, and I started focusing on that and forgetting everything that you taught us. Like for example, like you taught the other time you said about the separation of EMAs. Now I was just like focusing on the separation of EMAs. I forgot about the traps. And then when I get to the separation of EMAs, now you just have the blocks. Now I just focus more on the blocks instead of like focusing everything that you taught us, and then you put it together and then you make some perfect trades for yourself. Like that was my biggest mistakes. Like every knowledge that is new for me, I was just focusing on it and instead forget all the information that you already taught us. Like the spreadsheet, I was so exciting about the spreadsheet. Now I'm looking at the spreadsheet during the gap time and stuff on time. You know, like my mind is like on spreadsheet now. I'm just the last 3 to 15 days. Yeah, but now I think like for this new week, like I'll just combine together. That it taught us that like you have to look at the 5 criteria or more, so that you know it's gonna help you like to get some clear trades and so forth. But yeah, that was my biggest problem, that I just focus what is new that I didn't know and think that's gonna be my breakthrough instead of putting everything together.
That's true, man. And you're not alone. Even when I first started, that's what I used to say. I used to say, I'm just going to wait for a stop hunt high that hits 50 pips. And whenever I see a stop hunt high that hits 50 pips, it's going to go down. So that killed me, man. It killed me. When you start to understand what Steve is talking about, Steve is saying to you, to all of us, that immerse yourself in what the dealers are doing. The dealers are doing. Immerse yourself. Try to understand everything and everything and everything with everything. Because once you start to understand everything that's going on, that's why I don't want people to trade. Because when you are looking for the criterias, you are not looking for the criterias to trade. Let's rectify it right now. You are not looking for the criterias to trade. You are looking for the criteria that lets you understand what's going on so you can trade. You understand? You are not saying, here's the squeeze, here's the blood out, fuck, here's the divergence. Yes, I know I'm about to enter. No, man, no. You need to say, oh, I see the squeeze. Great. The market makers are holding the contracts from the sellers' top bands, the buyers' top bands, and the sellers' bottom bands. He's squeezing them together. That makes a rectangular shape squeeze. So you are playing it in a way that lets you be in business than you being a typical retail trader who's just waiting for the patterns to happen. So when you start to see the squeeze, you need to say, okay, I can see money is being squeezed from both the buyers and the sellers. He's squeezing it. So the time he goes back to either direction, whether he pops up or he pops down, your second thing that needs to come to your mind is that, okay, the market makers decided that they needed to go to where there's most money first, which is the bottom or the top, wherever he starts. Then the time you start to see the traps, the time you start to see the spikes, you need to see the spikes and say, oh, he's trying to trap at the low. Is there a divergence? Is there an imbalance? That's the yesterday's start. Is there an imbalance for us? And where is the poison? Where is the dragon? Where is the death? Where is the G spot located? After you know all those things, it's like, okay, the market makers, they induce the people down. They make the spikes. This means he's going to reverse based on the trap, the squeeze of the contracts, and by him starting at the bottom first. Because if they start at the bottom during the gap time, they can't continue, they can't drop for more than 2 sessions. That's what Steve is saying, that's not me. Steve is saying the market makers cannot keep on rising or cannot keep on dropping for more than 2 sessions. And there's some imbalance about the markets that they just absolutely had to do it. But on a normal trade by trade basis, this guy must never make a stop hunt low during the gap time and then continue going down during the next session. When they make the big burst down, they will reverse. Even if they can reverse for like 300 pips, they must do some reversal before they can continue going down. But that reversal, you will see it. It will be there if you are attentive and if you are focus driven and you are seeing what's going on. They will make that reverse. That little 300, 400 pip window, that's our window of opportunity. I'm not teaching you guys to hold and hope. That's why I say when you enter, number one thing, make sure it hits 300 pips. Everything that you trade, it must hit 300 pips. That is your safest zone, your safest take profits. Because after 300 pips, most of the time, this guy just shutters and he goes back to your entry and he kills you. So you also need to bear that in mind. So whenever there's a trade, I always put that's why when I see a shift, I say I am covering. I'm taking some positions off because I know the market is not certain, man. We can look at the squeezes, we can look at all the criterias, but the time we start to see the shift, the market makers can say, oh, fuck, man, go back up. There's not enough people that we track. Then they go up and then they take all your money that you just made. So whenever I start to see the big bursts that go to the downside, and then he makes that reversal of 300 pips, I panic. I equally say, Leo, I'm becoming a cunt right now. Let's get out now. Let's get out now. Take some and leave the bastard run. Then the bastard will make your money. The greedy bastard trades, they are the ones who will trade for you, and you don't have to give a fuck about them. You can let them do whatever they want to do. But that comes from understanding everything that's going on. That comes from understanding the market makers. That comes from understanding what the squeezes are doing. That comes from really understanding, not just waiting for something to form. Does that make sense? Understand what you are doing. Understand it. Once you understand, man, that's where the real fun of the market is. The market will never make you to, be bored or anything. You can sit on your chair for hours just watching me. I sit on my chair for hours, man, and watch these bastards and watch what they do, how people feel when the market. Did you see the EMAs? Because this guy on EU yesterday, he went to the EMA he went to the poison and he stuck there. And I told you that, I think a webinar ago. I said, have you noticed that when this guy goes to the EMAs, he stalls for a little bit and then he goes down to other EMAs? That's exactly what he did yesterday, man. Whenever he shifts to the EMAs, he will stand to the poison and he will poison the poison. This means he will poison everyone. He will make everyone weak. And after he makes everyone weak at that point, the dragon will be right there opening its mouth to devour them. That's why he makes the big burst that goes down and enter the dragon's mouth. Any other questions, man? If you don't understand, tell me. Hey, bro, go slow, man. I don't understand. Tell me.
I just wanted to add on a thing that you said about when you see the shift, you started to take some profit. It's a bit like, because when we see the shift, we see a big red candle. So like on Euro USD, we saw a big red candle, and the retail traders are seeing the exact same thing. They're seeing the big red candle, so they're like, oh, let's jump on. It's a vector candle. They're seeing this as a momentum, and that's why we tend to take profit when we see a shift happen.
Correct. Hey, mute, man. If you're not talking to us, mute. Big guy, any questions, man?
I seen in a voice note and Love Boredom, you said, so if you don't ask questions, no one is going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
Don't ask, you don't get any answers. It's that simple.
That's simple, man. So whatever question that you want today, it will be answered, man. So before or after I finish here, we are gonna dive deep into your flashcards, man. The flashcards that you just showed me right now, I've been going through them. So
Yeah.
we are gonna have to dive deep in them.
Okay.
We will dive right after this because I think this will be beneficial for the guys on YouTube to understand what's going on, just to understand the basics of the market. Because the guys on YouTube, man, they have a fucked up mentality of, I get the messages that, sir, you are good. I see you, you are trading. How do I enter? I need help in entering. I need help in entry. And they forget everything that was said. They just want the most opportune time to enter. So they always message or they always email us concerning the Zoom. They want to be on the Zoom so that they can be there live to see us press the button. That's the biggest problem with these guys, man. They have so much in their minds. They have so many people that they follow. They want to follow this and this and this. They do not dive deep into one person to see if this person is full of shit or this person has something that they can learn from. So I'm talking to you guys on YouTube. Stop doing that to yourselves, man. Stop doing that. If you really love this business, go on one mentor, figure out if this mentor is full of shit or not, and dive deep and understand everything about what he's teaching. So if it will make sense for you, then that will be the path for you to go to, man. But do not look at each and every mentor. Do not jump on each and every group. Otherwise, you'll always be allowing us to make money off of you, same as the market makers. The market makers, they love it when you guys jump from group to group to group to group and have multiple groups on your mobile or your laptop or your PC, whatever. And then they know that you will take each and every opinion from each and every corner. That's how they own you, man. So dive deep on one person, see if that person is legit about what they teach. Go back on your charts and sit and love the bottom of sitting and going back to what the charts are showing. Then after you have seen, or if you don't see, then you can unsubscribe and say, fuck it, man, this guy is full of shit. Or you can go deep and say, damn, I see what this guy is talking about. Then let me go even deeper to understand. But follow one mentor at a time. One mentor at a time so that you can sketch them off your list or put them on hold so that you can study their method. Stop asking us the questions of where do I enter? Please help me how to enter. That's not us, man. That's not Xtrillions. We are here to trade with precision, and our precision comes from years and years of waiting and years of studying how to understand. See you guys later, man. Okay, Leo. You understand? So stop doing that. Any other?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's
Yes, sir. Because I know that people, they follow a bunch of people on their phones, man. I know. I used to be one of those people. Everyone.
yeah, but
Continue.
yeah, for me when I started to follow you, like I saw you like on Instagram, because I already knew I've been to a lot of guys who are trading all these resistance and support. But my introduction was on Steve. I trusted Steve the way he was introducing himself, but when I saw you, because you were trading, I see the EMAs, how they're displayed. That's why I saw, oh, this guy is real. And then when I go to your page, I saw you how you do your thing, and then I say, okay, this guy's real. He's the guy that I want to follow, because I already knew that Steve's might be have like many followers, right? So it's gonna, if you have so many followers, so I don't think you'll get a time to catch up with the student. So that's why I was interested in following you. For me, like I don't need necessarily to you're following these guys, because I know all of them. I've been to this guy, they'll tell you how much it costs, and then they'll teach you something that you already know, something that it does makes any money, you're gonna be on trap. Some of these guys are sponsored by the brokers. You just get in there, and then many followers, you open the broker, then they're getting money. So I've been already know. That's why I came to join, because I know these things. All these guys, you see them on social media, those guys are all fakes. Some of them, they are working for brokers. So Yeah, I don't have any followers. I just follow is you only because yeah.
They call them the IB, man. The IBs. Those are the introducing brokers. They just put you into their brokers and then they just get paid off it. So there's a lot of those people, man. So the only thing that I want, since we are so small, that's the beautiful thing about us as a group and even us on the channel. We enjoy this organic, slow growth. You know, people who really sit and listen to what we have to say. Those are the people that I want to teach, and those are the people I want to follow. Or those people are the ones who I want them to follow me. But I want people to sit on their hands and enjoy the slow process, man. When you pay, you are not paying so that you can make money the next month. You're not doing that. You are paying because you are loving the business and you are here to make sure that you understand this. There's a skill that is behind the understanding. So the time you start to understand and you start to develop the skills, then you will make your money back and then some. But for people, I noticed that they join and pay and want to trade. You can't do that, man. There's no successful guy who's teaching who will say, hey man, pay, and then after 3 months or 2 months, you'll be rolling in dough. No one, I guarantee you, man. The true people will show you the way, they will show you how to understand, they will show you how to think, they will show you the other things besides trading that is contributing to you not making it. If you are the kind of person who has a lot of friends, if you're the kind of person who's in a relationship and you have no time for this, it will affect your trading, man. It will. So I'm here to show you that if we talk about psychology is not just on trading. When we talk about the trading psychology is actually a day-to-day, a day-by-day thing that you do for yourself. So the habits that you develop or the routine that you develop outside of trading, it will affect. It's like a ripple, man. It's like a stone in the pond. Those ripples, whatever that you do, it comes back. So the trading psychology, it needs to be in line with what you're doing outside of trading. Because what is happening outside of trading, that's the thing that actually hinders you over the trading or helps you.
Gotcha.
Give me the questions, man. Give me the questions.
Yeah.
You said you wanted the webby. Give me the questions, man. Flood them.
I mean, I like the work part of it. You know what I'm saying? The webinar, cool. We got a couple of questions. Let's get back to work. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get back to work, man.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love that. That is.
I mean, I probably had most of my questions were answered already. That's why I jumped off of Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Trading, man.
Yeah. What happened to me? I wanted to ask some questions. But all the questions were already answered.
Yeah, man. That's why they say a good coach, he has one answer to so many questions. That's true. You're not supposed to feel like, damn it, what did this guy say? What did this guy say? I mean, that whatever that I tell you, it must cover most of your questions. Because in what I'm saying is what is actually making people lose. So I'm showing you the brain part of it. Your questions, they come from your brain. So when we trade according to our brains, to our trading, to our understanding, most of your questions will be answered, man. Because people don't know what a trap is. So when you start to break down how is the trap, what makes the market makers offer the traps in the first place? Before it becomes a trap, what do you see that will make the market makers actually make the trap? Before the traps even surfaces, understand where are your EMAs, understand where are the retail traders. Then once you understand that, everything else will pay for itself. You will understand most of the game without having so many questions and so many inside battle demons. You won't do that. So I was expecting to get an influx of questions. I was like, fuck it, I'm ready for fucking battle, man. Only to find out that I just spoke like, let's say, man, like 1 hour. You guys are fed out. Damn.
No. I mean,
that's insane.
The thing is, yeah, I mean, like the EMAs, the price is always going to go back to the EMAs.
All the time.
All the time. If nobody knows that by looking at the charts, you got a problem.
All the time.
They have to. They're like a magnet.
And one thing was I just learned there's a trade that was taken by the Mason on USD. So like for me to understand the spread, like I was so surprised how these guys they do work, because I was monitoring this USD's entrance. If you take it closer, you look at the charts, you can see like there's no headshots there, but these guys they already move like 3,000 pips. But when you're looking at it, they're just holding the bid price and then moving away the ask price. When you look at the charts, you can see this guy they didn't move, but in actual fact, this guy they did move about like 3,000 pips by the spreadsheet. For me, that was so amazing.
Bro, it was like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Even when I was watching it, I was like, look how they are opening the spread, man. The price is not moving, but the numbers are moving. They are holding people while they are opening the ask that goes up and kills them, and open a huge ass bid and ask spread. That on itself, it was like, oh my God, shit, crazy shit is about to happen right this second. So when I said it on the group, it was like, fuck, something crazy is about to happen. And
to me,
shifted.
That Leo says that I have good analogies. To me is that they're backing up their truck and they're throwing all the money in the truck when the spread opens.
Oh my God.
Once they have that, they close the door. They close the door and they leave the shift.
Oh my God, man.
Leave everybody in the dust.
That's great. That's what it is. That's actually what it actually is, man.
Yeah.
So when you always see stuff like that in the morning, your mind is not, oh shit, what's going on? You know exactly how to react. You know what's going on. You know what's about to happen. You know how to position yourself. You know that in that one candle will pay you, man. Because that's what we want. We want the shift. I'm not interested in when I enter and I see a small bar goes down, goes up. I'm not interested. I get bored immediately. I want when I enter, within 15 to 30 minutes, I should be able to see 300 pips. That's what I want. So within 30 minutes, if I'm still in profit in 30 minutes, but they haven't made the shift, I still get worried, man. Even though I'm in profit, I get worried. I'm like, why are these guys not shifting? This means they're trying to shift me out of the position. Fuck it, I'm out. When it's not shifting, we need to say to ourselves, they are trying to shift me. So I won't be shifting. I'm going to take myself out before they shift in my You understand?
Right. When in the military,
that's my mind, man. I'm scared, bro.
The military jet fighters, when it's about to crash, that's when you punch out.
You punch out. You don't wait for the plane to nose to show down. The plane's nose is not supposed to show down. Before it shows down, you're supposed to be out of that motherfucker, man.
Get out of there, man. Parachute out.
Parachute out before the plane nose is crashing.
Yeah, you're gonna kill yourself.
That's true shit, bro. So Even me, when I trade, guys, I'm scared, man. Because whenever I trade and I want something and it doesn't happen at that time, my mind goes, let's get out, get out, get out, get out. That's my alert in my mind. It's like, get out. This guy is not shifting. Get out. And then when you get out, some days it shifts and you're like, shit, I had him. But most times I know that when I enter and then it doesn't shift and I get out, they go that direction. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm glad I was not in that. I'm glad I took my money out, because that's what we end. We wait and wait so that once we trade his shifts, we are not waiting and waiting so that when we get in, we still have to wait for him to go down. Fuck that. We are here to make money. We are here for the shifts. So whenever we identify this criteria at the back, this criteria at the back guarantees the big shift. You understand? So whenever you trade and see a big shift, man, you need to get out quick.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's like no drawdown.
Bro, when you look at the Instagram videos, when you enter, there's no drawdown. It must move. It must get the hell out of my position, man. If it doesn't, I scratch it. That's what you want. Those are the trades that even Steve talks about, that once you enter in them and they shift, man, it's like euphoria, man. It's crazy that people wait and they wait for hours and hours being on the charts, and here you are coming in at the most pristine time for a shift. That separates you, man. It separates you from a bunch of people who have a bunch of high stress levels because they need to be in trading every time. And then you show up and you just want this and this and this and this and this. And then when you enter your shift, you get out and you go to your life. That's fantastic. That's what we want, man. So that's all. I get scared when this guy doesn't shift. That's my point. So whatever that's happening, I'm always scared. Whenever I see a trade doesn't move, I panic. Even though I'm not supposed to, but it protects me, because anything can happen in the markets, man. Anything can happen. You can get everything beautiful and you've been trading it for like 4 days. The 4 days has been giving you the squeeze blood out, and you've been making money. And then what happens is you get cocky on the 5th day. They give you the perfect squeeze and everything, like Leo. And you start to say, fuck it, I've been paid with so many days, same trade. So let me up my risk now and enter with so many lots. And that one stupid error, you give back all your profits that you just made 4 days ago, because you did not respect your emotions. You did not respect being a scared person in trading. Because being scared, that you're not a coward. You're not a coward by saying, fuck it, I'm scared, let me get out. Because 90% of people lose. People lose because they are not scared, right? They are not scared. They're saying, when the trade goes against them, it's like, let me wait for a couple of more minutes. I will give you time to breathe. Market makers don't have a breath, man. They don't have a breath. So what are you talking about when you say, oh shit, the market maker
you already
away from me? Continue.
Yeah, you already mentioned this on the exotic cause, saying that it's like being foolish when you're making profits and you start increasing your losses. Instead, you have to increase more orders instead of more losses. Like if you use 0.01, just add more 0.01 instead of increasing like to 2 lots and whatsoever, because you can increase your your take profits. You can increase, but by small lots. That's what you mentioned in the cause. I remember saying that if you're making like maybe double your money, don't increase your lot size, but you can increase your orders, like continue 0.01 and increase your TP, so that you're gonna be always in the game, even if the market is going against you.
Straight up, bro. That's straight truth. If Sam enters with 0.05 on Monday and enters 0.10 on Tuesday and 20 on Thursday, on Friday. And then I come along and I enter 0.2. The following day, I enter 0.2s. And notice, whenever Sam enters with 0.05, he always guns for 300 pips, right? He just says, I'm just going to take 0.05 for 300 pips. The next day, 0.10 for 300 pips. His target is 300 pips. And then what happens? It seems like Sam, from Monday to Friday, he has been making money. And then I come along and trade 0.02 Monday. Tuesday, I enter 2 positions. The first Monday, I enter 1 position, 0.02. I go to 300 pips like him. The second day, I enter 2 positions of 2 0.02s. One is still the normal TP. The other one is busted. I can make 1,000 pips with the busted setups, even if I'm still reaching my first 300 take profit, because we don't know in that day if this guy can make 300 pips and continue going down. So the time Sam enters with 0.10 and just takes the 300 pips, I can enter 2 0.2s and beat the shit out of him, because he's only focusing on 1 TP, which is 300 pips. But I use the smart way of using small lots for maximum profits and letting my trades run, even though I'm still protected in letting my 300 pips run. But the other small profit, another small position, I'm leaving it for bastards. You use small money and make, you do not say, I'm risking my house, I'm risking my big house to get a mansion. You don't do that. You don't do that. You risk small. You risk $1 to make $50. You risk $1 to make $20. You do not risk $1 to make $1. Fuck that. You understand? That's how the best guys make it, man. If I'm lying, go and Google Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio will tell you that I need to make sure that I win. I put 1 position that makes me win 5 times in that 1 position, so that the next time, if I'm wrong, I can lose 1 and I'm still up. I'm still up 4. I lose 1, I'm still up 3. I lose 1, I'm still up 2. So how many times can I be wrong before I be right again? You understand? So big lots, big lots are not to show you that you are the great trader, man. How you handle your risk is what differentiates between those who say, let me enter big, and those who say, I'm going to be in a profitable game for a long time to come, because I'm letting my positions run, even though I'm still respecting the 300 pips that I set for myself. So I'm going to replicate the same 300 pips, but I'm going to still add on just a fraction of positions, so that every time when I keep on adding small positions, those small positions, they run and they can run for long. That's how you need to think about trading.
Yeah, that's understood, sir. That's understood, sir.
So
One quick question. I don't know where I read it at or where I saw it. I think it was in the chat. That the spread was preventing the trigger of your TP. How was that?
that's what they do, man. Whenever they are near your TP, they open the spread. You need to understand that, let's say, for example, you are in a sell position. The sell position, the time you are putting, let's say, your TP at 300 pips, do not wait for it to take you out. Don't do that, because they can reach that 299 pips and they open the spread. So even if the bid can be below your take profit, if the ask is still at the top, it won't get triggered. So it's gonna be like, fuck it. Well, how is it that I was not out? It's because the bid doesn't matter when you're going down. So even if your bid, the lower part, the lower line, it hits your take profit, you are still inside of the trade. You won't be taken out until the ask hits the take profit. So they do that sometimes. That's why I say most of the time, when your TP is flashing green, don't say let me wait until he goes there. Take it out, man.
Punch out.
You are not obligated to wait for this guy to hit it. No one said that shit. It's only that the foolish ones who will say, no man, wait until he goes and hits your 300 pips. That's an idiot mentality. When you are trading and you see that this guy is stalling around your TP, don't say he's going to hit it. Don't, unless you are prepared to lose, or for you are now taking a 50-50 chance when this guy gives you 280 instead of 300 pips. You are not, instead of taking that 280 pips, your ego was like, no, he must go to the 300 pips. He must go. He mustn't do anything, man.
That's why if I was in a position, I always have my mouse next to that little X by the pips. You know what I'm talking about?
True, man.
See the little X right next to the pips when it's moving?
Yeah, I know.
You have it right there.
Me too.
That's it.
Me too. Whenever I see my shit starts to flash green, that's my signal. That's my subconscious signal to say, Lesh, you have two choices. You can take this money right now, or you can let your ego be at the top because you want to show the group that you are a macho trader. So let's see if you are a macho trader. Leave that trade. Then that trade, what happens to it? It goes up. Then people are watching at you like, man, I thought this guy's was gonna hit. No, bro, I'm not doing this for you. I'm scared. I'm telling you guys that I'm scared. I'm not here to give you some, crazy macho shit. Whenever I see a trade blinks green, bro, first thing that comes in my mind is like, take it out. Take it off. Take it off.
So I was gonna ask a question, but it pretty much got answered because I see price moving. Let's say it's burst and going up, and then it falls and they open up the spread and it just sits there. Then I see it go down some, right? And the spread is opening up while it's going down.
That's what they do.
Yeah, it's triggering.
But do you know why they do that, though?
Right, because the people that went up, they got their stops below. They're trying to, they're scooping up money. They're triggering stops.
Here's the simple explanation of that. You are 100% right, but let's put it in a tangible, non-tangible way. Remember this, whenever the market makers shift away from our positions, it's not that he's shifting away from all the retail traders, because some retail traders are now getting into this game. They are starting to see that big fat candle. That candle that we are getting out at, that is the candle that they are induced with. You understand? So when we get in and the market makers shift, the new traders who are not in the market, they are seeing that shift and they're like, fuck, I need to be in that shift. I need to enter that. Those are the chasers. So the time they enter and they enter that big bar that is already shifted, the market makers, they are opening the spread and only take them 12 pips. And then they put it back together and they go down. The more they see the red, they open the spread, they take them out, they squeeze them, then they continue going down. That's the market makers booking profit. Because they know that people are chasing the big bars. Even though those who are trapped at the high are getting killed, there are new players who are seeing that candle and they're like, oh shit, I need to be in the trade. Then when they enter, market makers say, open that shit up. They open it, take you out, pull it back together again, continue going down. Every time you do that, it opens, swallows you, then goes down. Beautiful. It's beautiful. You see it.
The whale eating the plankton. I see it all the time, but I was just wondering what the hell's going on. Something's going on there.
You know what's going on, man. They're dealing with those who are seeing that and they're chasing. They're dealing with the chasers. So whenever I see shit like that, whenever I'm in a trade of a basket, I know that people are getting handled in those numbers between the bid and the ask and the spread. Those in the middle who entered that, if you enter that and the market is like this, it's like a fucking mouth opening up and fucking swallowing everyone whole before they continue plummeting down.
The whale eating the plankton.
Straight up. It's eating a bunch of sardines, you know. That's true shit, bro.
Open it up. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sam has been quiet, man. Does this guy understand? Bro, do you understand what's going on?
Yeah, man. I've been on mute because these lot are making noise.
Okay, man. All right. As long as you understand what's going on. That's all.
Nah, yeah, I get it.
Okay, fantastic. Give me the questions, man. Damn.
I'm all out, man.
I pinned you guys down. That's fantastic.
I like a tube of toothpaste, man. You squeezed it out.
Damn. Damn. That's crazy, man.
Man, I was thinking all day when you
think
sent
for
the
me-
message. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
No, for me, it's just go back to the notes and rephrase everything that I've been taught today. Then I think for the upcoming week, it's gonna be much better for me because I'll just go through everything here. Then I think it's everything because sometimes you get to the wrong trade and you realize that Lesh is already said that thing that you already get to trap on it. Everything that's gonna be a breakthrough is already on my notes. It's amazing. Sometimes if I flip back to my notes, I just realize what he said today he's already said before.
Right, and that's what he said.
Just
That's
have
all
to go back to
Bro, that's all I got.
Well,
yeah.
Well, guess what? Here's a news flash. Here's a news flash. It's the same pattern. So how many times have we traded that pattern? He's gonna say the same thing over and over and
Same thing over and over, man. Every time I'm telling you guys, it's at the top of the group. When you go to the top of the group, it's like, fuck, let's just set this, Moose. He just said it right now. So if I said this and I make money with this, that's why I say you can trade me, man. You can trade my mind. I can be a pattern to you because you know what I'm about to say. You know everything because I have said it so many times and I haven't changed. I haven't diverted. I'm still trying to improve the way I'm delivering it, but it's the same material.
It's either HOD or LOD.
That's why I do not want people showing me something in the middle. When this guy makes a stop hunt and he goes up to the HOD, I told you what I do, man. I told you that I do this. I go crazy. I'm like, fuck, he's at the positions that I want him to be. He's at the HOD, man. So this is where I get the most excited. I get crazy. I jump around in my house, man, But that's just me, man. I don't know how you guys do your own.
We're like this. Oh man, I wish I was in there.
For me, it was a productive session. For me, it was a really productive session. So yeah,
Man.
Can't wait for today, like to go through everything. Yeah,
It's all about repetition. Like everybody says all the time, you need 10,000 hours to become fuck, I fucked it up.
That's true. That's true.
For something to become ingrained in you, you need more than 10,000 hours.
Yes, sir. But here's the thing, bro. I want to brainwash you guys. I want you guys to think the way I think, and the only way is for you to dive deep in one person. Just dive deep. Don't be as deep to Tim Sykes as you are to me. Tim Sykes is on penny stocks. When I say listen to Tim Sykes, listen to the mentality. But the psychology, again, on here, listen, just follow one person. Because that one person, you can, if you do a bunch of repetitious listening, the way he talks, how he delivers the content, the material, you're going to start to say, you know what, man, I knew you were about to say that. I knew you were about to say. I knew it. I knew what you were about to say. So whenever CJ asks a question, or Sam asks, you can easily answer them because you know exactly what I'm about to say. I'm about to say the same thing I've said. It's like if I can go to my catalog and open my voice notes, this session I can conduct this session with the voice notes. Whatever that you ask, I can pull a voice note that answers your question. Even if a trade can be new tomorrow, there's a voice note about that.
Yeah, there's a voice note about
There's
it.
a voice note about that. There is. Just listen to the voice notes every day, all day, man. You will start to see for yourself that fuck, this is nothing new. This guy has been saying this for a long time, and every time when he says this and there's a flashcard like this, and I see the flashcard, it's easy. I'm gonna just duplicate what I heard or what I've seen. I'm just going to duplicate it. So I want you guys to be brainwashed in that sort of way where you can trade your teacher, man. I want you to trade me. Trade how I think. Trade what I'm about to say. Trade my flashcards. Trade all those things. Because those are the things that I'm still gonna talk about because the market makers don't change. The market makers have realized that people, they have the same patterns. They realize that. So a person can be forged into a book. They know that. That's why do you think a market maker is a profession? You cannot make something that is a profession if it is not measured into something. That's why they say what gets measured gets achieved, or some shit like that. That's true. Everything has a measurement, man. You need to measure that, calculate and measure it, then you put it into your jar or whatever. That's a formula. So the market makers, they have a book. Steve was not lying. The market makers, they have a book on how to train the newbies, on how the mentality of us, how it works as a retailer. They know it. So when the new guys they go to apply for a job, they give them these books. They're like, go study these books. In these books, the behavior of the human has never changed. You are white, black, Latino, doesn't fucking matter, man. The mentality is still the same. You still have the same.
Sure that company, whoever the market makers work for, they have a psychologist in the company. I can guarantee you.
That's for sure.
No, yeah, for sure, man. If they have a problem, they'll just go to the company psychology. They have it.
Just watch the show called Billions.
Yeah, like yes, Xtrillions. This is Xtrillions. They've got the psychologists there to motivate.
Man, Wendy's crazy. Wendy,
yeah,
when someone has a problem, they go to Wendy's office. They go to even the big boss, even Xtrillion himself, when he has big problems, he goes to Wendy, man. Like, Wendy, please, I'm fucked up. Help me to be straightened out. Then the time he gets out of there, he's like a fucking machine. Because Wendy understands the human psychology, understands how all these people, how the mind actually works. The inner part of us all. Because I can extract your brain and I can extract mine and Cishes and Sam. You cannot get to say who is white and who is black. The brains are still the same. So they know that. So they take that thing, then they put it in a book and say, fuck the color of these guys' skins. Let's murder them all. Let's kill them all. Let's fuck them.
Yeah.